Hey guys, it's Erin Trafford of erintrafford.com. I'm a digital strategist, and today's video we are talking about how much influencers cost you when you are developing a campaign. So perfect if you are a small or medium-sized business, if you've never really used influencers before, or if maybe you can't afford an agency and you want to dabble in influencer marketing but not lose your shirt. Here are the things that you want to be considering when you are pulling together budgets and factoring in pricing and negotiating with your potential influencer partners. Okay, the first variable that you really need to think about is reach. We used to say reach was really the be-all and the end-all a few years ago. If you could get eyeballs on your content, you were doing the right thing in terms of digital marketing. This day and age, we're being a lot more smart, we're being a lot more nuanced about it. So reach is one of those things that, yes, it should be a factor when you're pricing an influencer, but it's also not the only factor. So you want to make sure that you are reaching the right people. You are definitely using that influencer to leverage an audience that you would like to convert into customers. So a little bit of deep dive into what that reach truly means. So that's factor number one. Factor number two will be engagement, and I'm going to say quality of engagement here. So what kind of comments are they getting on their content? How many comments are they getting on their blog posts, on their Instagram feed? Do they get really worthy comments on their YouTube channels asking deep probing questions about the content? Or is it more just like, you look great, love this, kind of pithy comments? You want to make sure that when they are generating interaction and engagement, it's authentic and it's going to help your brand. The next variable that you should be considering would actually be the quantity of work. It's not really a good idea or a good investment to work with someone who is a bit fair weather about all of it. Certain influencers really do take this seriously. Most of them who are doing this for, brands on a regular basis are either doing this as a full-time side hustle or as a full-time job. So you want to expect that they're consistently pumping out content at a regular rate. So a couple times a week. In terms of blog posts, you want to be looking for 1 to 2 times a month is probably pretty decent. Make sure that they're not just going to post about you and then ghost on their audience, because that's really the last thing that you would like to invest in as a brand. That leads me to quality of work. Okay, so here's where you're going to have a little bit of discussion with your team, or you're going to journal this out as your solopreneur or brand manager. What kind of quality of work are you looking for? Are you looking for the more authentic photos, or are you looking for glossy magazine-like photos? What do you want that end product to look like? Something I like to caution brands against is going into influencer relations with too many expectations. And not because you shouldn't expect high quality work, but because that can really bog down the approvals process. So if you already have a sense of the quality of work that the influencer is doing before you approach them, you can kind of work through the approval process in a little bit more of a seamless way. If they are used to producing glossy photos, beautifully staged, amazing video production, or if they're used to just kind of like snap and go, you know what you're getting into. So factor that in when you're going to approach them. The last two things kind of blend together. One is usage rights. So make sure that you're explicit about how you're going to use that content going forward. If you want to have universal access to everything that person creates with your brand attached to it, there will be a price attached to that. And then the last thing to consider is exclusivity. Especially if you are a brand working in a very competitive niche where perhaps that influencer has a chance of being approached by one of your competitors as well. The last thing that you want is them talking about you one week and talking about your competitor the next week. Not only will that confuse their audience, but it will dilute your message significantly. So you'll want to work and factor in the cost of exclusivity into your contract. And that's really to protect you and to protect the influencer going forward. So I'm just going to do a quick recap for you. The variables that you want to consider will be reach, the quality of the engagement, how often they're posting and whether that jives with you, the quality of the work up front, if that really fits the brand and the messaging that you are trying to convey with this campaign, and then where you're going to put the content, as well as whether you would like to be exclusive with that influencer. Okay, that's it for this video. For more information on how to run your branded content campaigns, influencer marketing, and all of the other fun things that I do, please check out my brand new website, erintrafford.com, or hit me up in the comments.